When Olivia got engaged, she called me before she called her parents. I knew before he did. She laughed. I'd already picked the ring I wanted. That should have told me something. But she sounded breathless and happy, and I cried anyway. She asked me to be a bridesmaid over brunch the following Sunday. The cafe was loud, sunlight coming through the front windows, her hand extended across the table so I could admire the ring again. I can't do this without you, she said. At the time, it felt like intimacy. In hindsight, it felt like recruitment. The early planning was fun. Venue tours with 2 sweet Prosecco. Standing in empty rooms, imagining fairy lights and long tables. She talked about warmth, about love, about everyone feeling included. Then the Pinterest boards turned into mood boards. Mood boards turned into requirements. The dresses she chose were a specific designer I'd only seen in magazines. When I quietly asked if there was a similar style in a lower price range, she blinked at me like I'd missed the point. But this is the look, she said gently. It'll elevate everything. Elevate everything. I put the $480 on my credit card. The Hens weekend was meant to be low-key. That's what she said when she first floated the idea. A small getaway, just the girls. It became a 3-night interstate trip with coordinated outfits for each day. She created a shared folder labeled Content with inspiration photos of laughing women on balconies in matching silk pajamas. I don't want anything tacky, she explained. By the time I transferred my share for flights and accommodation, I'd stopped calculating the total. It felt easier not to know. Olivia glowed during that weekend. Not relaxed, radiant. Every dinner was photographed from 3 angles, every toast rehearsed. She corrected one of the girls for holding her champagne flute too low during a group shot. Just lift it slightly, she said, repositioning her hand herself. Hannah left early on the last day. She said work was overwhelming. Olivia hugged her goodbye in the hotel lobby, smiled, waved. That night, back in our room, she said, I just wish people were more committed. Hannah quietly withdrew from the bridal party 2 weeks later. Olivia cried on the phone to me for an hour. I don't understand how someone can just opt out of something this important. The bridal shower was hosted in a private room at a vineyard. It was beautiful. Soft pink florals, custom cookies with their initials pressed into icing. I overheard Olivia correcting the event coordinator about the placement of the gift table. It needs to be visible, she said. Otherwise, people forget. I told myself she was stressed. 2 months before the wedding, she started talking about upgrades. The standard floral package feels sparse, she said, scrolling through options on her tablet. I don't want it to look cheap. Marcus had begun looking tired around that time. He still smiled, still nodded, but he checked his phone more often during planning conversations. Once, while Olivia was in the bathroom during a dinner out, he leaned toward me. Is it normal for it to cost this much? He asked quietly. I hesitated. I think she just wants it perfect. He nodded like that answered something. 2 weeks before the wedding, Olivia messaged the bridal party privately. There's just a small timing issue with payments, she wrote. If you could each transfer $1,200, I'll reimburse you once the wedding gifts come in. I stared at my screen for a long time. The phrasing bothered me. Once the wedding gifts come in. Like the guests were revenue. 3 of us said we couldn't do it. She didn't explode. She adjusted. Her replies became shorter. Plans started happening without certain people being told. I found out about a final dress fitting through someone else's Instagram story. Then the florist posted. It wasn't dramatic, just a gentle notice that final payment hadn't been received and services would be adjusted accordingly. But it was public. Comments started trickling in. Within hours, other vendors began confirming balances. Marcus found out from the venue coordinator. I know this because he called me. Did you know about any of this? He asked. His voice sounded smaller than I'd ever heard it. On the wedding day, everything still happened. The dress was stunning. The ceremony space, though reduced, still photographed beautifully. Most guests probably didn't notice what was missing, but the energy had shifted. There was a tightness beneath everything. During the reception, one of Marcus's friends gave a speech about partnership, about transparency, about building something sustainable. It was kind, it was vague, and it landed heavily. Olivia's smile flickered. 6 months later, they separated. It wasn't because of flowers or deposits. It was because Marcus eventually saw the spreadsheets, the reshuffled payments, the personal credit extensions. The fact that she had assured him everything was handled while quietly leaning on everyone else to cover gaps. She had curated a wedding, but she hadn't built a partnership. I don't hate Olivia. I don't even think she meant to implode her own marriage. I think she believed that one perfect day could compensate for everything else. But a wedding doesn't hide who you are. It magnifies it. And when the lights dim and the guests go home, what's left isn't the aesthetic, it's the structure. And theirs was never built to hold weight.